Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the southern tip of Vancouver Island in Western Canada. I hope all of you are having a great weekend so far. Students, in this class, we are going to be discussing IELTS Speaking Part 2, the cue card, the long answer, meaning you have to talk English on a specific question topic for about 1 to 2 minutes. And today we will focus on the topic of a place for fun in your city. In fact, the last time I did the IELTS exam, this was kind of my question that I had from British Council. It was talk about a place you go in your city to have fun and relax. So very much a real topic that could show up on your IELTS exam or a similar type of question. Everybody, this is a members chat class. In order to join this chat, you need to be a member by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button. Welcome Fuang, Andrew, Yanni, Raquea, Silviana, Domenico, Karina. Nice to see many members in the class ready to learn. This, of course, is coming again from our websites, aehelp.com for academic IELTS, gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Students, we use these websites throughout our lessons, so definitely check them out. This is aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Click this big red button to join our premium IELTS course. It's just right there above my head. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, and it's definitely well worth it. We will use the site today to interact with students in this class and in the next. We're an IDP affiliate. We're a British Council partner. We're an IELTS test registration center. We help thousands of students every day. If you'd like to take a look at some of our success stories, we're very proud of them. They're right here. You can click on the link and just read a lot of stories from students who have succeeded on IELTS using our software and our programs, so you can gain, that confidence that you need for your test. General IELTS, gieltshelp.com. Click this big red button here just above my head to join for general IELTS. When you click that button, you can use the code SKILL9, SKILL 9, for a 10% discount off of the premium IELTS package. And you are good to go. We're going to use the website here later to interact with students, to talk with our students. You can find speaking partners on the website as well. And you can interact with them. You can even video chat with them. All right, students, the apps are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. You can get those from your app stores, link them to your web accounts. You can also follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AEHelp and GIELTS Help. Welcome to Sarah, our chat moderator. Good to have you here with us, Sarah, on this beautiful Saturday. Hopefully all is going well with you in France. And if you have questions, you can ask Sarah in the chat, or you can also send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. We've got the schedule for today and the coming week. So again, right now we have Speaking Part 2 followed by Speaking Part 3. The Speaking Part 3 will be an all-chat class. Then there will be no classes from 5th to the 8th, live classes. We're going to have a new video release for you though, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button so you know when these new videos and these live classes are happening. And then on Thursday, February the 9th, we kick it off again with Speaking Part 1. Okay, and then we'll have reading, listening, and more speaking for you in the coming week. So lots to look forward to. We've got this video for you to check out. I'll copy that into the chat. It's one of our latest HD releases for you to practice your speaking. Okay, and with that administrative preamble out of the way, let's get right into our IELTS speaking part 2 cue card. We've got a good amount of members in the class, and that's fantastic. Students, IELTS speaking part 2 cue card. Okay, basically they show you these questions in a little booklet. If you're doing the face-to-face exam, they're going to open a little booklet and they'll give you an introduction. They'll say that was the end of part 1. We will now continue with part 2. For this part, I will show you some questions. Please do not touch the question booklet. You will have 1 minute to read these questions, think about your answers, and then 1 to 2 minutes to speak. That was one of the COVID protocols that they put in, is they ask you not to touch the booklet with the questions in it. Pay attention to that. I know sometimes students are really stressed and they want to reach out and grab the booklet and then pull it a little bit closer to themselves, but just stay calm, pay attention, don't touch the booklet, and then you won't freak the examiner out, because then they'll go, whoa, don't touch the booklet. So they'll put it close enough that you can read the questions. Make sure you use the questions. That's one of the caveats of not touching the booklet, is we kind of forget that it's there. But it is there. It's there to help you. Don't forget to look at the questions. That's why they leave them in front of you for the entire part 2. Okay, so the cue card is 1 minute preparation time and 1 to 2 minutes of speaking. Okay. If you're doing a really good job with your answer and you're giving new information, you're being fluent and you're staying on topic, they will let you speak for the 2 minutes. If you are stuck for words, if you stop speaking, if you're going off topic, if you're repeating yourself, saying the same information again and again. And the movie theater is a really fun place to go and relax with some friends. So going to the cinema to catch a flick with some friends is a great place to have fun. If you do this, if you keep repeating, even if you're paraphrasing, but you're just repeating, then they will likely stop you before your 2 minutes. Okay, so you need to give good information, structured information, and new information, and then they will let you speak for the 120 seconds. If you finish a bit earlier but you answered all the questions and you did a good job, that's fine. You can get a good band score. So sometimes students ask me, what's the minimum amount of time I should speak, like to get like a perfect band 9? How long should I speak? What do you think, members? Like, what do you think is approximately the minimum amount of talking time for part 2 in the IELTS to really get a high score if the examiner is not stopping you? What do you think? 40 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 120 seconds. Andrew says 90 seconds. Fuang says 2 minutes. Yeah, the minimum is about 90 seconds. So Sylviana, Andrew, you're right. It's about 1.5. So you don't have to go the full 2 minutes. If you're quite fluent and you've done a good job answering the questions, and you did it in 90 seconds, that's fine. You can get a band 9. Okay. So for high bands, you should speak for at least 90 seconds. Okay. So if you think about it, I mean, if you're talking about a fun place in your city, like in this topic, or a place for entertainment, I mean, you should be able to talk for at least 1.5 minutes, providing new information about that place, right? So if you're really giving enough detail, there should be about 90 seconds of content there at least, right? So aim at least for 90 seconds. If you're only speaking for 60 seconds, you're probably rushing and you're probably missing some good information that could help your lexical resource mark, your grammatical range accuracy, your coherence mark, okay? So you really want to nail at least that 90-second time frame, all right? And you have to practice that at home, okay? No matter who you are, even if you have great English, Part 2 is definitely the part you want to practice because it's not usual. We don't go out and give people little mini presentations all the time, all right? So, okay, so the examiner says that is the end of Part 2. We will now continue with, that is the end of Part 1. We will now continue with Part 2. For this part, I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to read these questions. Think about your answers. You can take notes in this 1 minute time if you wish. You have some paper over there and you have your pen or pencil. And then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. Talk about a popular place for entertainment in your city. Okay, good. So then you read the questions and the topic. The examiner will give you this topic sentence. They really want you to pay attention to that and make sure that you're talking about this specific piece of information, okay? So reread that, all right? Talk about a popular place for entertainment in your city, okay? What is it? Where is it located? What happens there? Why is it so popular? And what do you think about it? Now, if you have good reading skills, maybe even read it twice. Read it once slowly, carefully, and then read it again nice and fast just to make sure. So what is it? Where is it located? What happens there? Why is it so popular? And what do you think about it? Okay. Students, I don't always tell you to do this, but it is a good idea. And if you can do this nice and fast, it's smart to do this at the beginning. Paraphrase this topic statement or sentence that you have to talk about. So talk about a popular place for entertainment in your city. Okay, so paraphrase this for me. Give me another couple of ways to say the same idea. Again, it's going to help you with vocabulary, thinking about the right idea. I'm going to paraphrase, you do the same, and then we'll compare. So, there, that's mine. Present a venue that many people frequent in your city. Or instead of present, I would maybe even say discuss is a little bit better. Discuss a venue that many people frequent in your city. Okay, that would be my paraphrasing. Fuang says, speak about a common destination for entertainment purposes in your urban area. Very nice, Fuang. I like it. Okay, that's really clever thinking. I like the urban area paraphrasing. Okay, I'll put up some of these paraphrasings that you're putting out there, especially good ones like this, Fuang. It's a good one. Okay, very smart. All right, so Fuang says, speak about a common destination for entertainment. Okay, watch your word form, Fuang. Purpose in your urban area. Okay, Yanni, that's pretty good too. So, describe a prestigious. Prestigious, Yanni, might not be the most accurate way to paraphrase popular. Common destination is a bit better. Prestigious means famous, but it doesn't necessarily mean many people go to it. So, Yanni, make sure that you realize that what you're talking about here is a place that a lot of people go to. Describe a popular, right? So keep that in mind. All right. Andrew says, describe an in-demand venue for amusement in your hometown. Yes, very good. I like that. In demand. Yes. So highly sought after, right, would be another way to say it. Karina says, a famous place where many people gather in my city for fun. right? Karina, don't forget the for fun part. Romelia says, can you describe a well-known location for leisure activities nearby? Yes. Now, leisure and entertainment, Romelia, they're not exactly synonymous, okay? So leisure is kind of like relaxing, but entertainment means that you're really having fun, and that's not always the same. So you want to be careful about that when you're giving your response, okay? All right, students, but you're on the right track, which is fantastic. So all of you are realizing, importantly, that this is a location, right? And when we talk about a location, we want to talk about its description, so what it looks like. We want to talk about its location, so where it is. I should say when we're talking about a place. It'll be a little bit better here. So when we're talking about a place, we want to describe what it looks like. We want to talk about its location to identify it physically, geographically. That's always a very smart idea. In fact, they ask for that. So you notice that they say, what is it? Where is it located? That's basically like describe it, tell its location. What happens there? We'll get there in a second. So you go description, location, attendees, activities, and experience, right? So basically, when you're thinking about a place, these are the 5 basic concepts that you need to include pretty much in this order. It doesn't have to be this exact order, but pretty much in this order to make sense, okay? So if I say that there's a large theater complex made up of 10 different movie theaters, modern, built in 2020, located about 10 kilometers from my home in the northeastern part of Victoria, in the district of Saanich, called Silver City. And this place is visited by people of all ages, mostly locals on a regular basis, but also visitors and tourists for watching blockbuster films. Right, so description, location, attendees. People watch the latest films in either 2 or 3D. One of the most recent releases that I have seen there is Avatar: Way of the Water. This place is extremely fun and entertaining, of course, with all the movies, and it even has a large video arcade at the entrance where people can enjoy playing games while watching for their films to start. Okay. The theater complex houses food options, mostly theater food like popcorn and soft drinks, chocolate bars, and other sweets. But people can also get a more filling bite to eat, basically junk food like hot dogs and hamburgers, or classic Canadian poutine, which is French fries with cheese melted on it. Okay, so experience, I go there at least once every couple months to catch a movie and enjoy it with my family, especially my older daughter these days, right? So all I'm doing is I'm literally just thinking about the movie theater, and as you can see my eyes kind of scrolling on the screen, I'm looking at description, location, attendees, activities, experience, and then just kind of going through those steps without any planning, right? So this is basically no planning, okay? Just knowing that we need these elements, okay? All right, so if you are really quick and clever and you happen to have a question that also requires maybe some history of the place, then a 6th option could be a little bit of history. I would probably put that a little bit closer to the description and the location. But if you're really quick and clever and you think that you've done a good job on talking about this place, you might include a bit of history, especially if it's a place that has history. So maybe a Central Park in the city that is hundreds of years old and has been enjoyed by generations throughout history, right? So you could do that as well, okay? All right. Domenico says, sir, I live in a small town. So apart from the beach and town hall, we don't really have places for entertainment, I guess. Domenico, I think the town hall square could definitely be a place for entertainment. I'm guessing that it's used for special events, like hosting an annual dance for the town or similar types of community gatherings. So I think, Domenico, that a town hall or potentially the beach is great. Raquea, Sky Jumper Trampoline Park is fantastic. And in fact, these trampoline parks are getting really popular. We just had one open in Victoria a couple of years ago. So that's a great one for today. And I think this is becoming a kind of popular venue. So we'll do that one for today. Okay. So once you know that you're talking about a place and you know that you need these 5 steps, then of course you have to come up with at least 2 to 3 good ideas. Okay. So that's the next step. It's very, very important. Okay. Why is it very important to come up with 2 or 3 ideas? 2 to 3 good ideas. Why is this a very important step, students? So it's a little bit of review for some of our members here. So Domenico said the beach, the town hall, if it's a smaller town. Trampoline park, Raquea, that's a great one, yeah. We've got one in Victoria called the Flying Squirrel. Trampoline park. Okay. There could be a theme park. There could be a movie theater. Right? So why is it important? Why is it very, very important to do this? So why should you come up with 2 to 3 good ideas and not just think about the first idea? So a lot of candidates here would think about like movie theater and then just go with it. Movie theater, there's a big movie theater in my city that is a very popular place for entertainment, and then they just go with it. Or theme park. Silviana says, or is asking, is it okay to say you can? No, Silviana, good question. I definitely recommend avoiding saying you can. Okay? Like Silviana, imagine that we're talking about the trampoline park. Okay? And you start saying things like, or information like, you can jump around for hours and fly high in the sky while having great laughs. Okay? And so you say this, Silviana, you can jump around for hours and fly high in the sky while having great laughs. And it turns out that your examiner is a 68-year-old 200, or let's say 120 kilogram gentleman. All right. So Silviana, what do you think the odds are that that 68-year-old 120 kilogram gentleman is going to go to the trampoline park and jump around for 2 hours, right? Now here's where, it's obvious that you're not specifically talking about him, right? You're talking about people in general, but it's awkward. Like, it's just, if you really think about it from the outside, it's just awkward to say you can jump around with all your energy for 2 hours, and there's this 68-year-old examiner going like, what, seriously? Maybe 20 years ago, right? So you got to be really careful with that. You can, and it leads to restrictive language. When you start using the second person you pronoun, it really starts to get into repetitive language, redundant language, restrictive language. So just avoid it, okay? It's much better to say children can, okay? All right? Much better, right? So you just have to avoid it, all right? Okay. Andrew says, in my city, I can mention the dolphinarium, the escape room, the circus, the private zoo, the Central Park. Private zoo, that sounds kind of interesting. All right. And so, yes, there are lots of ideas. And why? Students, again, I still have this question lingering. I don't see any answers here. And this is very important. Remember, we've got a lot of viewers with us. Some of them are, or many of them are not members, but they probably are asking or wondering this question, especially if they're new, like, why should I think of at least 2 to 3 ideas for part 2? So why do I need to do that? Okay, there's a couple of really good answers to that question, and I would like you to tell me, because I really want you to remember this. I have a feeling that even though I repeat this every single time we look at a part 2 cue card, I still have a feeling that many candidates, they get so nervous and they're just so happy to have an idea that they forget to think about at least 1 or 2 more ideas. Chayani says, to make sure that the candidate answers on the topic and avoids hesitation. Rakwe says, so we can choose the best idea. Okay, Raquea, that's definitely one of the answers to this question, right? Is choosing the best idea, not just one idea. Yeah, and we'll talk about what that best idea is in a second. There's another reason, and I have said this a few different times, and in some of those videos online, and of course on the website in the premium course, of course you learn about this as well. So there's another really important reason, and I'm hoping that at least one member will remember and say, oh yeah, by the way, this. Karina says, backup ideas and we can make a story from that. Karina, you should only talk about one. So you should definitely not switch, okay? Be really careful. So if you start talking about the dolphinarium in your city where you can see dolphins perform tricks and put on shows for the public, then you don't want to suddenly switch and start talking about the escape room where people can go and solve mysteries with their friends. So you don't want to switch, okay? Yeah, Domenico, those are some good ideas. So think about those, especially when we've got volunteering coming up where you can try. Okay. All right. The missing answer that I'm not seeing anybody say here is these ideas that you have for part 2 are extremely valuable for part 3 questions. Okay. All right. You have to remember that. So part 3 is connected to part 2. And oftentimes, people are so happy to get finished with part 2 and they get so surprised by the part 3 questions that they have difficulty coming up with good ideas. So the ideas that you came up with during part 2 become very valuable for your part 3 questions also. Okay, so if like the first part 3 question is, what are some common places found in many cities which are enjoyed by the local population, then you can be like, oh yeah, well, aside from the trampoline park, common places would be like movie theaters, parks, zoos, where many people go to relax and have fun with their family and friends, right? So you can use that information right away. Okay, Andrew says ideas for part 3. Yes, Andrew, a little bit late, but better late than never, right? Okay, all right. Okay, so, and who was it? Yanni, I think, or Raquea? Raquea said, so we can come up with the best idea. Yeah, and the best idea means an idea that you can talk about easily, that is original. Okay, so for instance, for this part 2, I wouldn't choose something like a park or a theater. Okay, because those would just be so common, right? Imagine you're the examiner and the 10th candidate, maybe even in a row, comes in and starts talking about going to a park to have fun. So I would avoid talking about going to the park to have some fun playing sports and having a picnic with family. Or I would avoid talking about going to the movie theater, okay? Yes, those are very popular places. Yes, we know about them. Yes, you can talk about them. Great, but you sound like the other 8 or 10 people before you. So I would recommend avoiding it. It's not the end of the world if you really get stuck on a very popular idea like that, but best avoid it if you can, all right? All right, so easy to talk about, original, lots of content. All right. Rakwea, you read my mind. What I kind of had going on in my head, especially since I was just there last week, Saturday, and my daughter's been there a couple times, is the trampoline park that opened up here in Victoria. So once I have my idea, I want to take some notes, okay, useful notes, right? And while I'm taking the notes, I literally just go through these 5 points, okay? And I think about words and information that will help me to give more information, okay? So, for example, the description of what it looks like, right? Okay, let's just put a D there for description, okay? I would say that it's about maybe 800 square meters of trampolines, okay? The ceiling is probably about, I would say, 25 meter in height, okay? It's a large warehouse, basically, okay? That's kind of on the outskirts of the city. And of course, it's got lots of trampolines. I'm not going to write that down because that's something that I can remember, of different shapes, okay? It's got basketball hoops, so you can do some slam dunks jumping around on the trampoline, okay? They also have an air mattress that you can jump on, okay? And again, don't overdo it. So fine, I could probably go a little bit more, a lot of pink colors, pink and blue, but without going into too much detail. Go to the next one. Location, right? Outskirts of the city. I don't need to write that down. It's in the district of Esquimalt here. I believe that's right. Of course, with your notes, don't worry about spelling. It doesn't matter. Okay. Esquimalt, about, well, I would say about 8 kilometers from my home. Okay. It's in an industrial district. Okay. And the parking's difficult if you're in Victoria. So it's got difficult parking, not enough spaces, I found. But anyway, so those are just some details. So that's the location. And then attendees, who goes there? Mostly children. I found it was mostly kids. And hundreds of them. Ages, I would say 4 to 14, roughly. Okay, again, doesn't have to be specific. But there are, of course, a lot of parents, some teens as well. You don't really see elderly at the trampoline park. Okay, it's noisy, it's loud, it's jumping on trampolines. You don't really see a lot of people in their 60s, 70s jumping on these trampolines. Okay, so that's the attendees. Activities. So here I'm just taking some notes, and take some notes with me. By the way, members, instead of kind of looking at your fingernails going, oh, they're looking good today. No, I kid with you, but this is when you should be taking some notes for your ideas, because as you know, everybody, you will have a chance to practice your Part 2 speaking in this class. And I want to give lots of our members a chance today. So if you're coming up with your own ideas, that is fantastic. You should be taking notes. Rakwea, if you're going to, plan to talk about the trampoline park, think about what that park looks like, what it includes, okay? So prepare your answers. That's right, Sarah. So start preparing your answers, Okay. So activities, bouncing around. Yes. You can play dodgeball, basketball. Okay. Do tricks. Now here, of course, is where if you have some vocabulary, it's helpful. If not, it's fine. Don't worry about or don't focus on ideas where you don't have the vocabulary. So if you know like flips, for example, or cartwheels, then fine. But if you don't have the vocabulary for the kinds of tricks that you can do on a trampoline, don't worry about it, okay? Then just say tricks. People can do different kinds of tricks and maneuvers, right? So bouncing, dodgeball, tricks. There's food. There's an obstacle course as well, okay? And then my experience. Okay, obviously it's fun. I'm not going to write down fun because we're talking about an entertaining place. It's exhausting. Chasing your child for 2 hours around the trampoline park is exhausting. It's slightly dangerous. That's why they actually get you to sign a waiver saying that if you injure yourself, that's your problem. I saw 2 kids with a bloody nose while I was there. So definitely a common place for a place for injuries. Okay, so dangerous, definitely. All right. Okay, as I was saying that, I remember too that people have all kinds of parties there, especially kids' birthday parties. Okay, I've got lots of content here. So now, as my last step, what do I need? Yeah, well, it's true. Yeah, it's true. I was there last week, and in the 2 hours that I was there, I saw 2 kids with their parents holding the kid's nose like this. Yeah, because the kids, when they're bouncing around and they're running around, and it's a madhouse in these trampoline parks, the kids bonk each other's heads. The biggest problem is they smack into each other and then hurt each other. And of course, our heads tend to be heavy, especially for kids. So the head just goes bonk right into the other kid's face and nose, right? Yeah, wow, real story. So it's a fun place, but injury prone. It's an injury prone activity or location for sure. Yanni, that's right. First sentence. Okay, so have your first sentence ready. It's very important so that you can start talking right away. You can build fluency. You can target that topic question, right? So again, part 2 cue card. Okay. Talk about a popular place for entertainment in your city. Okay, so a new venue where hundreds of people go to enjoy themselves each day is the Flying Squirrel trampoline park. Okay, so that's my first sentence ready. All right. Now notice how I immediately interpreted the popular place as a number, right? Okay, so hundreds of people each day. Okay, that tells the examiner like, okay, this person's thinking when they read the topic popular, they realize it's a place where many people go. And then they go one step further and say hundreds of people, or in some bigger places like a theme park, it would even be thousands of people, or a big zoo, right? Okay. Raquea writes, a well-known place in my city is Sky Jumper Trampoline Park, which is about 15 kilometers from my home. Very good. Yeah. So Raquea, you're getting into it and you're on the right track. So students, you can start writing your first sentences. I'll take a look at them to make sure that you're in the correct direction with your ideas. Okay. Sarah, I also encourage you, especially in these members chat classes where we've got fairly good control of the content to start putting your sentences together. So start practicing these so that when you volunteer, then you have already a good idea of what to say or what not to say. Okay? So all I'm going to do now, students, is we're going to practice, and I'm going to build sentence by sentence about the Flying Squirrel Trampoline Park. So, excuse me. So the next will be, of course, location, description. You can kind of mix those up. Andrew writes, in Kharkiv, a popular place for entertainment is Fieldman Private Zoo that is loved by city dwellers and tourists alike. Very nice, Andrew. I like it. Domenico, a popular and the nearest place for amusement to where I live is Town Hall Square, which is built on 3,000 square meters of land in front of the Town Hall building in the center of my village. Okay. Yeah, try to avoid repeating yourself like town square, town hall too many times, okay? Domenico, but it looks good. Town center. Yeah, it's a lot of towns. I'm trying to minimize the word towns in there. Domenico. Okay, Fuang says, a popular place for entertainment purposes in my city, Ho Chi Minh, is definitely the tallest skyscraper, Landmark 81. Okay, Fuang, that's good. Good start. Silviana, one of the famous attractions in my city is Scientia Square Park, located in Gating Serpong district, which takes about 15 minutes from my house by car. Okay, don't just say attractions, Silviana. Attractions sounds like you're talking about a famous landmark. You really want to tell the examiner that it's a place for entertainment, for having fun, for having a good time. Okay. All right, Yanni says, an outstanding place for amusement in North Jakarta is the theme park located about 20 kilometers from my house. Yanni, that's really good. I like how you say amusement, okay? Include the name of the amusement park, okay, or the theme park. So what is it called, Yanni? Can you tell us the name of that amusement park? Be specific, okay? You know, you see how here I said the Flying Squirrel Trampoline Park? And Raquea says the Sky Jumper Trampoline Park. That really makes it much more specific and original. Absolutely, you should mention the name, Yanni, okay? By being specific, the examiner also gets the feeling that you didn't just memorize some answers, but that you're really being original, okay? All right, so this newly established venue is located about 8 kilometers from my home in an industrial area in the district of Esquimalt in the western, or on the western outskirts of Victoria. It is a large warehouse with about 800 square meters of trampolines. And has 25 meter high ceilings. Inside, there are not only dozens of different shaped trampolines, but also an obstacle course, an area for buying and eating food, as well as foam pits for children to jump into. Okay? All right. So there is my location and description. Okay? All right. Okay. So just going through it step by step. And members, this is what I want you to do right now, okay? So I want you to continue with your thoughts. So think about the description, think about the location, write down some ideas for your answers so that when we get to our practice, then you can really just focus on your fluency, intonation, pronunciation, okay, your pacing, and really just deliver the best part to response possible, okay? All right. Since this place has opened in 2019, it has been visited by thousands of people, mostly children ages 4 to 14, as well as many parents and some older teenagers. Okay, so the attendees, who goes there? All right, now activities. The place is very loud, filled with the screams and laughter of people as they bounce and jump through the air. Many families choose this place for birthday events. Kids enjoy playing basketball, dunking, and playing dodgeball. However, I must say that the trampoline park is somewhat dangerous as kids bump into each other quite often. While I was there the other week, I saw 2 kids getting treatment for a bloody nose. So even though most of the visitors have a fun and exhausting time during their 1 to 2 hour visit, indeed, some people leave with tears of pain instead of joy. Okay, let's do that. All right. Because, of course, there are 2 expressions here: tears of joy when you're having a lot of fun, and the ironic opposite, and sometimes the more common, tears of sorrow or tears of pain when something painful happens. Okay, so I somewhat blasted through this answer, giving you some new vocabulary, some idiomatic expressions. Notice how it's very visual too. So we always want to practice being visual speakers, right? So I want to give you the feeling that you're in this trampoline park as a parent or a child and enjoying the fast-paced movement and bouncing, while also at the same time being aware of the trade-off, the dangers of the trampoline park. Okay, so here we go. Students, we'll go through this together, this answer. I'll look at the cue card again just to make sure that I've answered all of the questions. You should always, no matter who you are, look at the cue card before, during, and when you think you've finished your response. Okay, that's a very important tip. All right, students, always. So you should always look at the cue card questions before, during, and after your presentation. You should also look at your notes. Okay, so I haven't done that, but it's time to do that now. So let's look at the question. Let's back up here. Talk about a popular place for entertainment in your city. What is it? Where is it located? What happens there? Why is it so popular? And what do you think about it? All right, and then here is my answer. So a new venue where hundreds of people go to enjoy themselves each day is the Flying Squirrel Trampoline Park. This newly established venue is located about 8 kilometers from my home in an industrial area in the district of Esquimalt on the western outskirts of Victoria. It is a large warehouse with about 800 square meters of trampolines and has 25-meter ceilings. Inside, there are not only dozens of different shaped trampolines, but also an obstacle course, an area for buying and eating food, as well as foam pits for children to jump into. Since this place has opened in 2019, it has been visited by thousands of people, mostly children ages 4 to 14, as well as many parents and some older teenagers. This place is very loud, filled with the screams of laughter of people as they bounce and jump through the air. Many families choose this place for birthday events. Kids enjoy playing basketball, dunking, and playing dodgeball. However, I must say that the trampoline park is somewhat dangerous as kids bump into each other quite often. While I was there the other week, I saw 2 kids getting treatment for a bloody nose. So even though most of the visitors have a fun and exhausting time during their 1 to 2 hour visit, indeed some people leave with tears of pain instead of tears of joy. Nevertheless, this place is super popular. In fact, parking on the weekends is nearly impossible because most humans just love the feeling of bouncing high and doing the impossible, like flips and cartwheels in the air. Okay, so there's the ending to my story, and that comes from looking at the cue card and looking at my notes a second time. So giving it that extra boost of vocabulary and fluency. Okay, all right. That's my story of an entertaining place in Victoria. It's a real story in this case. It is a real place. It really happened, what I told you there. And I think it opened in 2000. It was just post-COVID. So I think it was actually 2021 that they opened. But you can check that out online if you really want. All right. Students, that's what you need to do. That's what you want to do. Many different ways to do it. But the idea is there. The structure is there. So without further ado, I want to give you a chance to volunteer and give me your answers. Go to aehelp.com. Now, everybody who's watching, take note of this because we will be doing this for part 3 in the next class that everybody will be joining, not just members. And you will be able to volunteer and speak with me as well. So you go to aehelp.com. That's this website here. You can create a premium package by clicking on this big red button that's just above my head there. Again, it's a one-time payment. Really doesn't cost a lot. Sarah has put the instructions into the chat. Thank you, Sarah. and you click on your My Student account, or you get into your My Student account. And then in your My Student account, you have the student partner speaking, which is right there. Waboom. Okay. If you want to book a speaking practice with me at some point in the week, you can do that with the yellow button that's just kind of behind my head there. Okay. For a mock IELTS speaking interview. And then you go to the student partner speaking, you open up that page, and you will find yourself among your peers and other IELTS candidates as well. And then you can volunteer by clicking that blue envelope that's beside my handle. My handle is Master. Okay. So when you see that, you can click on the blue envelope, and then you can send me a message and say, hey, I want to volunteer. Okay, Raquea, I know that you have a trampoline park by the sounds of it in your city, so let's kind of do a review, a recap, but within a different context. Let's see if Raquea is there, and then Raquea will tell us about the trampoline park in her hometown. All right, Raquea, are you ready? And again, students, if you're new to this system, test it first, okay? So make sure it's working for you, all right?
Hi, sir.
Hi, Raquea, how are you?
I am fine. How about you?
I'm doing good. We seem to be on the same page today with the trampoline park.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Have you been to the trampoline park in your city?
No, unfortunately, I have not been there, but I am keen to go there.
You are keen to go there. All right. Well, this will give you an extra bit of motivation, I guess, to try it out. Okay, Raquea, then I will start you off. I'll bring up the question, and whenever you're ready, begin. Okay. So
Okay.
let's begin part 2. Talk about a popular place for entertainment in your city. Your 1-minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
A well-known place for entertainment in my city, Delhi, is Sky Jumper Trampoline Park, which is 15 kilometers away from my home, and it takes about 30 minutes. Uh, it is a quite big and spacious place. It is 200-meter length and 100-meter broad, and also it is 25 meters high ceiling. So I think it is a big place to go for fun and doing some entertainment activities. For just about, it's good for kids like 2 to 18 years old, because the kids are mostly like to jumping and doing more activities, fun activities. There are mostly famous popular activities just like volleyball, dodgeball, swinging ropes, and ball walks. And also there are famous restaurant. There are Chinese and pizza, uh, very famous. So just last week I went there, and I ordered the pizza. This is very tasty and delicious. So I think it's also organizes parties just like birthday parties, because uh, kids are like. And for going there, there is also entry fees. For weekdays it is 350 rupees, but in weekends it is 450 per person. And also there are badges just like kids badge and also adult badge. So I think it is a good place to go for fun and do some uh, adventurous activity.
Okay, let's stop you there. And now we'll continue with part three. All right, Raquel, not bad. It's getting better. Okay, so your ideas and the way you're saying them kind of by, step one, location, description, what's happening there, the attendees, the people, that's really, really good. All right. So
Okay.
what you want to do is you want to continue working on use of natural language and having good connection and good intonation. Okay, so those are my
Okay.
points for you today. So good connections and good intonation.
Okay.
Your response, your ideas are nice. So now you want to make them sound nice. Okay, it sounds
Okay.
kind of your response kind of sounds robotic, like your intonation seems to repeat, and that
Mm-hmm.
makes it feel a little bit awkward and difficult to follow. So what you want to do is go up and down and change your voice and emphasize this and oh say that and really kind of copy this English style of intonation, right? So a well-known
Okay.
place for entertainment in Delhi is Sky Jumper Park. It takes about 30 minutes by car, right? By car. So
Okay.
make sure that you
Okay.
remember those little pieces there. So as is, you would get at least a 6.5 just because you have really good content and a lot of good vocabulary. But with better
Mm-hmm.
intonation and better connection, you can make that answer into a band 8 or an 8.5, no problem. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, what I want you to do is when you have a chance, look at this video again, listen to this
Mm-hmm.
answer that you gave, and think about some words and some connectives that you can use to make it flow a little bit more smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
And also really practice just intonating your voice a bit more. Okay?
Okay.
If it feels weird, Raquel, like if it feels like,
Mm-hmm.
whoa, it kind of feels strange, like I'm like, blah, 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 like I'm almost like singing kind of, then you're probably doing it correctly. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So keep up the good practice and go jump around on the weekend if you have a minute at Sky Jumper Trampoline Park, okay?
Okay.
All
Thank you so
right.
much.
All
Bye.
right. Bye, Raquel. All right, that was a good answer by Raquel and kind of a similar type of answer. And she's right, there are rope swings and there's volleyball and other sports as well that are fun to do with a trampoline, right? Okay, let's take another one of our premium students here and members. Let's take Domenico. Let's hear about Town Hall. Domenico, are you ready? Silviana, I see you're in here as well. Andrew, I see you in here as well. I'd like to hear some nice part two responses from as many of our members and premium students as possible. Fuang, I see you're in here as well. Are you ready, Domenico? I don't think we've heard from Domenico in a while. Good job, Raquel. Thank you for the thumbs up, everybody. It's good support. All right.
Hello,
Hi, Domenico. How are you?
can you? I'm great. And what about you? What have you been up to?
I've been getting over this cold, as you know. You mentioned
Yeah,
it the other
you are
day.
getting over you are getting over your cold because I heard yesterday I heard that you were coughing a little bit, so I thought, well, it must have come down with a cold.
Unfortunately, yes. It's just the post-COVID situation, I think, in many
Yeah.
places. But for me, it's really important because on Monday I'm going skiing for 3 days
Oh,
to Mount Washington. That's about a 3-hour drive from my city. Um, Here's a quick question, Domenico. If I started talking about the ski mountain for this answer that's 3 hours from Victoria, do you think that would
mhm.
be a good idea in the real exam for this question?
Well, it would be a good idea. I could talk about a place for amusement, for example, the park, which is located at the foot of Mount Etna, which is the great, yeah, the
I
they
have
could
to
demo-
interject,
yeah,
Domenico. I
yeah,
have to interject. It's not. I could not talk about the ski resort that's 3 hours from Victoria. Why
yeah.
not? The examiner would
It's
not like it. In fact, some examiners might even
because
stop me.
because we, yeah, you can. Well, if the question asks you to talk about a place for amusement in your town, you can talk about a place for amusement or entertainment in another place which is far away from your house.
Exactly, it's off topic, right? So I can't talk
It's
about
off, yeah,
Disneyland.
it's off out,
Yeah,
yeah.
that would be one of my biggest fears as the examiner here for the candidates. Is I know that a lot of candidates for some reason memorize talking about Disneyland, and if somebody talked about Disneyland, then
That's why I've chosen the town hall square.
yeah, exactly. So you can't be off topic. If somebody, like if I'm the examiner and this person starts talking about Disneyland and they live somewhere completely else, I would literally stop them at 1 minute and just give them a band 5, even if it was a perfect answer, because I'd be like, okay, they memorized something about Disneyland, has nothing to do with their city, right? So you have to be really, really careful, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, the town hall square. It well, I would say this place has been revamped recently. Well,
Okay, let me
it
start
was
you off,
revamped.
Domenico. Let me start you
Yeah,
off before, because you're getting ahead of us. So let me just do
yeah,
this. Let me start you off, and then you can talk about it. So are you ready?
yeah.
It sounds like you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready to roll.
Okay, you're ready to
I'm
roll. All
up
right.
for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Okay. All
Let,
right, here we go then. So now I will show you a card with some questions. You will have 1 minute to prepare, 1 to 2 minutes to speak. Talk about a popular place for entertainment in your city. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
a popular place, and the nearest place for amusement to where I live is the town hall square, which is built on 3,000 square meters of land in front of the town hall building in the center of my village. This incredibly modern square was actually revamped about 5 years ago, and in fact, it has become the most popular place for entertainment for children and families. Uh, this modern square has lots of greenery, trees, and a playground for children with lots of swings and slides for children to play with. On top of that, it has been equipped with a grassy amphitheater with a permanent covered stage for open air concert in summer, and a wood flower garden with a rockery and a water feature with walkways, seats, and lots of shady areas for the summer. And since this place was refurbished, it has been visited by
Okay,
thousands
your
of
time is
people.
up. I will stop you there. And now we will continue with part 3. Please put the note paper to the side. All right, Domenico, very good. All right, very nice. You have some nice vocabulary. I really like your use of present perfect. You use present perfect quite a bit, and that was really good. You said it has a lot of greenery, and then you said it has been equipped with a large amphitheater. It has become a very popular place. So really nice. Okay, I like that grammar. That's great.
To be honest, sir, I don't go there as often as I would like, except when an important event or when an event takes place in summer, because it's mostly a place for families and children.
Yeah, you should mention that. Okay, that's absolutely okay to mention. Now, when you're speaking Domenico, so this would be about a band 6.5 on the IELTS, going towards a band 7, so from a fluent to a good. When you start, it's really important that you start with a clear, fluent sentence and you don't repeat yourself, okay? So that's why you want that first sentence ready. You said a popular place, and then immediately you repeated. You said a popular and nearest place. You don't need to do that. You want to just go and speak smoothly. So a popular place for amusement is town hall. If you forgot to say nearest place, you can say that later. You can say it is quite near to my home, only about maybe a 20-minute walk, right? So you don't have to worry about
it's about the minute. It's about at the minute walk from my house.
Yeah. And you notice how you have this kind of style of diction where you tend to repeat yourself and say the same word again twice in the same sentence. You want to really work on avoiding that, okay? So try to train yourself, or I should say almost untrain yourself, to repeat words. Your word usage is fine, Domenico. You don't have to say it again. I understand it the first time. This happens sometimes when we learn another language early on because we feel the listener is not understanding the first time that we give them a word. But your English has progressed so far that I can easily understand every word that you say. So you don't need to repeat the words within the sentence. Now it's become awkward, okay? So you want to remove that from your diction, your style of speaking. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And it's not easy to do. You have to practice it. Every time you repeat the same word when you're saying a sentence, you have to take notes. You have to think, okay, I just repeated the same word 2 or 3 times there. So, and then avoid it the next time, okay?
Unfortunately, sir, this is a bad habit that I have when I speak my native language. I repeat myself. It's a kind of addiction.
It is. It is. And you can untrain yourself. We are always capable of evolving our communicative style. I'm a firm believer in that, regardless of age and person. So you can untrain yourself from doing that. You just have to give it practice. And it won't take forever. I would estimate maybe 2 months of focused practice on avoiding this, and if not completely, you're going to notice that you will reduce it by at least 50%, then 70%, and then eventually it'll be nearly 100%. So just really focus on avoiding it. When you're about to say the same word again, slow your speech and force yourself to say a different word. Okay?
Yes.
All right? Okay. All right, Domenico,
All right. Thank
keep
you,
up
sir.
the good practice. You're very welcome. Keep going. And visit that new town hall, all right? Or
Thank you.
town hall square. Okay. Bye, Domenico.
Bye.
All right. This is an important piece of advice for everybody. We all have features, or most of us, I should say, have features in our communication which we know is not ideal. So using too many fillers like or uhs, or repeating words, not deflecting our voice at the end of a sentence, not using enough intonation, not speaking loudly enough. So most of us have points to improve in our communication. Now remember, as humans, as social beings, communicating with others is arguably the most important skill for success for people around the world. So I highly suggest taking the energy and the time to identify those features and then work on removing those features from your communication or improving on those features, okay? Thumbs up for Domenico. That was fantastic. Okay, let's take another one of our members who is volunteering here. I see some premium students as well. Divyanshi, I see you there. If not this class, next class, sure. Okay. Let's try Fuang. I'm going to pick up a bit of speed here so we can hear some more of our members. Fuang, are you ready? All right. If you're there, Fuang, let me know. Andrew, if you've got a good idea for this part too, let me know. Helen, if you've got something good going on. Silviana, I see you're there as well. Okay.
Hi, sir.
Hi, Fuang. How is your weekend so far?
A lot of exam, but I'm so energetic.
Okay, good. A lot of assignments, but I'm so energetic. That's good. That's a great way to be. You sound like a very optimistic person, Fuang, which is fantastic. Okay, Fuang, you ready for part 2?
I'm ready, sir.
All right, here we go. So talk about a place for entertainment in your city. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
A popular place for entertainment purpose in my city, Ho Chi Minh, is definitely the tallest skyscraper, Landmark 81. Landmark 81 is the highest building not only in Vietnam but also in the Southeast Asia, with an impressive height of 461 meters. Thus, it became the symbol of peace and marked the future prosperity of Vietnam. Mm, the number of 81 depicts the number of floors in this high-rise building, with the 3 highest floors of this building being called Sky Church, and open space surrounded by transparent glass, where people can enjoy the panoramic view of the whole city through the telescope along with the most advanced touchscreen system. Moreover, another 78 floor have their own unique facility and activity. It is located in Bình Thạnh district as well in the heart of the city, so it has attracted millions of visitors to come here every year. Landmark is also the gathering point of tourist restaurants and cafes from all over the world, such as Peach Garden Chinese cuisine, Japan Dosa sushi. Anyone who is a foodie person absolutely cannot miss this high-end culinary paradise. It cannot be mentioned about the best view Infinity Pool, which is about 1,000 square meters, and a visitor can experience relaxing movement while enjoy the finest wine. The reason why it's so popular among citizens is that it not only can be seen everywhere in Ho Chi Minh, with its outstanding feature like transmission, but it's also providing an environmentally friendly living space for people.
Okay, I will stop you there, and we will now continue with part 3. All right, that was really good. Fuang, great. Very good description of the building. Especially at the beginning of when you're speaking, I want you to really take your time to emphasize each word clearly to the listener, okay? So you said a popular place for entertainment in my city of Ho Chi Minh is the tallest skyscraper. Now, skyscraper is the subject here, and it's what you're talking about. So here, for example, where you want to really slow down and pronounce it clearly, can you just say the word skyscraper for me?
Skyscraper.
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 There you go. That was good. Okay. So when you are in your 1 minute preparation time, and this is a very important tip for everybody, by the way, the key words for your presentation, and of course the word skyscraper here is a key word, right? It's arguably the most important word. You can even practice the pronunciation under your nose in the 1 minute. So you can be like, okay, skyscraper, right? Because that's a tough one. Even a native English speaker can get their tongue tied saying skyscraper in context. So it's okay to do that. It's okay to say like skyscraper, just so that when you start your speech, then you make sure that you pronounce that word correctly, because it was a little bit awkward to have that mispronounced in the very first sentence, right? So you want to make sure that that's coming across very, very clearly for the examiner, okay? You had some really nice connections, a really nice vocabulary, Fuang, like panoramic view of the city. Now, be careful with this expression. It cannot be mentioned about the best view. It's a bit awkward. I think what you're trying to say is this building cannot be mentioned without talking about the best infinity pool in the city. So it's a little bit different, the way that we use that expression. But overall, it was quite impressive as far as the vocabulary goes. Okay, so keep working on that pronunciation. I think you would score about a band 7 on this one with a bit of improved pronunciation. You would be up to a band 8 for sure. Okay. And then a bit of grammatical correction, you'd be up to a band 9. All right, Fong?
Okay, sir.
All right. Keep it up, Fong, and have an awesome rest of the week. I hope you get all those assignments sorted.
Okay, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye, Fong. All right, let's give Fong a thumbs up. Yeah, if you're in Vietnam, definitely in Ho Chi Minh, you should check out that skyscraper by the sounds of it. All right, let's take one more person here. Let's take Silviana. I don't know if Silviana's had a chance here. Silviana, are you ready? Trying to get as much practice time as possible there. If I don't get you right now, members, premium members, make sure to come back for the next class, okay?
Hello.
Hi, Silviana. How are you?
Hello, sir. I'm doing great, just a bit exhausted because this week I'm a little bit of hectic at work.
It's a bit hectic at work this week. I get that. Yeah. It's, and I have to, honestly speaking, I'm always at the opposite end of many of the viewers, because for many of you, it's quite late by the time we're talking. And for me, it's literally 7 in the morning. I'm finished half a cup of coffee and my energy level is just starting to skyrocket while everybody else is kind of on the other end of the spectrum. So I'm like, go. And then, there you are. Where are you right now, Silviana?
I'm in Indonesia.
Indonesia.
It's already 10 p.m.
Yeah,
right
and you're
now.
at 10 p.m. and you're like, oh, I just want to watch a movie and go to sleep. But I'm still studying English, right?
Yes,
and I'm like,
I'm
go.
power.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I get it. All right. Okay, well, Silviana, let's do this. So I'm going to start you off. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. So talk about a popular place for entertainment in your city. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
One of the popular places in my city for entertaining is Ciencia Square Park. It is located in Gading Serpong district, which takes about 15 minutes from my house by car. It has been famous among locals and tourists since 2017. It is a huge open space green park divided into 3 section areas such as safari, adventure, and farm. Every area has lots of different activities, not only for kids but also adults. For animal lovers, they can go to safari area for horse riding, feeding rabbits, koi fish, even alpacas. And for individuals who are thrill seekers, the adventure area is a great option because they can do wall climbing, water activity, and skateboarding. Last but not least is the farm area, not as big as the other, but it's perfect for releasing stress, enjoying nature, and fresh air. Some activities will charge for free, while others have their own price range, but it's still in the standard price range in rupiahs. Furthermore, the place is also connected to the center next to it, where people can find supermarkets and restaurants. It is highly recommended to not visit in high season because it will get too crowded. So I think it's a perfect destination for recharging your mind, my mind, but people, mind, body, and soul from the hustle and bustle of the metropolis. It's also great to strengthen the bonding between family members.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there, and then we'll continue with part 3.
Okay.
And I'll give you some feedback. Okay, you definitely took some notes and thought about your response throughout the class and made some corrections. That's really good. That's how you should do it when you're practicing at home. That's lovely. That was a really good answer. Yeah, so Silviana, that would easily be a band 8.5, if not a 9, okay? There were just a couple of slight, small, little awkward mistakes, especially at the end. So be careful to make sure that you don't make mistakes at the end. You caught one of your mistakes. You said for you to go, obviously, which is strange because I'm here in Canada and I'm not in Indonesia, right? I'm very far away. But then you fixed it. You said it's a perfect place for me to recharge my mind. Recharge my mind is a bit weird. We wouldn't say that in native English. So we'd say recharge my batteries, maybe, or to clear my mind. Okay. So the expression is recharge. And you do have to be careful with being specific with these. Recharge my batteries or clear my mind from the busy daily grind. So just be really careful, right? It's not necessary. So even if you didn't say that at the end, you would be okay. And sometimes it's better to not say it and not make a mistake than to say it and make a mistake in this case. Otherwise, overall, that was a fantastic response. So beautiful use of connections among ideas, using last but not least, furthermore. Really nice intonation. So it was rhythmic. It was easy to follow. Good description. Like you said, for thrill seekers, there's this part. And I want everybody to notice how what Silviana did really well was the overall structure of the response. So the visualization. So if I heard it correctly, it's called Cynthia Square Park. Is that right?
Yes, Ciencia Square Park.
Ciencia Square Park. Okay. And right away, you gave us that beautiful description of the park being divided into 3 main sections, right? And then you took us on this journey through the 3 sections and what each one is well known for, what the purpose of each section is, and what a person can do and what kind of person goes to each of these and why the person goes there and how it's entertaining. So the structure was just outstanding. It really felt like you were a tour guide that took me around this entertaining place in your city through your words, and that was fantastic. So good job, Silviana. There's not too much to correct there. That's basically what you want to do in your IELTS Part 2 if you're to get this question, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're very, very welcome. We'll see you in the next class, hopefully, Silviana.
Okay.
All right. Have a good day. Bye for now.
Have a good day, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So thumbs up for Silviana. Yeah, that was great. I'm sure a lot of you were like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. That sounds like a band 9. All right, everybody, that's it for this class, but don't go too far. We'll be back very soon, and everybody will have a chance to interact with me through the student partner speaking. Again, the website that we're using for this is aehelp.com. This is for academic IELTS. You can join this website by clicking on this big red button that's just right there above my head. It's a one-time payment. For general IELTS students, you can also join the same chat through your My Student account. It's the green background, and you click this big red button, or at the end of the introduction video, you can click that big red button there as well. Either one of those will take you to the checkout form, one-time payment, lifetime access. You're good to go. Students, I'm back in 30 minutes with Speaking Part 3, which will connect to the topic of Speaking Part 2. So remember your ideas, remember what you thought about, and maybe even practice a little bit in the 30 minutes on questions. You can practice with each other through the chat in the meantime, okay? Sarah, thank you for moderating this class, for helping out. Thank you to the volunteers. For those of you who didn't get a chance to speak with me, definitely come back. I'll be looking for some of you in the next class. And have a good little break. I'll be back in 30 minutes. Bye for now, everybody.